Dire Straits.
I don't even know what song this is.
It's the Prez.
It's the Prez. I don't know who this guy is, Prez.
Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, one of the greatest songs of all time. This is your Week 9 NFL presidential address. Kelly and myself, we're super pumped. Great week last week from me. We got lots to talk about today, and Kelly, we are going to keep this show under 40 minutes.
God bless you if you can figure out how to do it. I've been trying for weeks to keep you from talking for 50 plus minutes.
Listen to this guitar piece. Okay, Kel, we got lots to talk about today. We're going to take apart all the games.
Okay.
But first, I want to tell you a little bit about my weekend, and I want to give out some promos. And we'll keep this beautiful music playing in the background. Kelly, I went to the WPT this past weekend in Montreal. I played in the 550 $1 million guaranteed event, three-day event. I was 4 hands from bagging on day 1. 4 hands. I had 20 big blinds. It was 4,000 was the big blind. A guy raised to 15 grand. I looked at a pair of aces. I shoved 80,000. He called with ace 10, and one of those cards was a diamond. He had a 12% chance of winning the hand and ran 4 diamonds on me.
Yikes.
I was out of the tournament and on my way home. But now I'm with you doing the presidential address, so things are good, and I'm coming down to Vegas soon. I'm going to play in some more poker tournaments.
I like it. You're coming down for my birthday, I remember.
Yeah, and we will see you there. But I'm busy, Kelly. I'm busy. I'm going to be in the studio taping.
I was going to say, good. You better be in the studio. As the media director, you have to be in the studio while you're here.
I'll be in the studio taping, and I will be playing poker the rest of the time. Listen, so what I want to talk to you about really quickly is the best promotion we will ever give on this show. Ever. And we're only going to give out 3, Kelly. I'm going to turn the music off now. Can't believe you do not know who Dire Straits are. You've got major issues, girl.
If it was before I was born, I definitely don't know. Unless it's like old country music, then I know.
Through this garbage, and we listed a whole bunch of people you know before you were born. Anyway, guys, let's get into this. I want to give out my promotion, and I want to tell you guys that we're only going to sell 3 of these packages. They are limited to 3. And I know that people do that all the time. Oh, we're only going to sell 3, and then you sell 10, and you just don't tell anyone because nobody talks. 3 people will get to buy this package, period. End of story. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So let me tell you, Kelly, in all sports combined, the NHL, NBA, college basketball, college football, baseball, and NFL, in all sports combined, since December of last year, 11 months, I am 309 wins, 234 losses. That is a 57% average. And Kelly, the clients who bought that package last December would have made 204% on their money. 204% on their money, betting all my sports. In college basketball last year, Kelly, I was 61%. In NBA from December of last year, because I had a horrific start, I was 61%. In NFL this year and last year, I am 58%. In hockey, this year and last year, I am 60%. In baseball, 55%, but I did make 31% on our bankroll. Kelly, those numbers are ridiculous. Everybody listening to this show wants money, and I made 200%. If you gave your money to Warren Buffett, it wouldn't even be in my league. Do you understand that?
Of course I understand that.
Warren Buffett is my toilet paper.
Warren Buffett is my toilet paper. Yeah. You're hilarious.
Kelly, 204%. So what is the promo for this week? 1 full year of all my plays for $750. 1 full year of everything for $750. There's only 3 people that can buy it. The first 3, the coupon codes are Prez All 1, Prez All 2, and Prez All 3. If you use one of those coupon codes, it'll never be used again. So try Prez All 1 first. If that's gone, Prez All 2, Prez All 3. That's 3 people, $750 for an entire year. I cannot guarantee you 200% return on your money, but I can guarantee you that Warren Buffett will be my bidet.
Warren Buffett will be my bidet.
Yes.
And I just got an email from somebody. Sorry, I thought I turned that off. All right. Well, Johnny, weird. Johnny, stop emailing me. I told you I was doing a video with Prez. All right. We just did a Q&A. You need to tell people about that.
Yeah. We do 2 videos a week now. Head over to the Wager Talk channel and check out the Prez Kelly Q&A. 5 questions. We answered them all. And make sure to email us, guys. Email, tweet, or YouTube us questions. We'll be doing that segment every week. And that's really it, Kel. I mean, you know, we want to keep these shows tighter, so I'm not going to make jokes. I'm not going to, you know, talk about, you know, my amazing hair for a 49-year-old. I will still flex, though, Kel.
Well, Prez has a timer, so he told me not to check in with time, but we still wasted 8 minutes of your life. You guys are never going to get back.
Flexing then, Kel. Let's get into the week. I don't like this card that much, but I hand the reins to you.
I agree. I don't love this card. Thursday night, I think I'll rather be watching a couple college games instead, but Oakland +3 at San Francisco. Total is now hitting 47 here in some spots in Vegas. What do you think about Thursday night, Prez?
You know, it's actually an interesting game betting-wise, and I'll tell you in a second. I forgot to mention, I went 2-1 in my NFL bets on Sunday. Carolina was a winner. The under in Jacksonville was a winner. And Thielen's fumble at the end of the first half affected my Minnesota bet radically. So I did lose that, but I went 2-1, and I'm 19-11 in pay picks so far on the season. As for the San Fran-Oakland game, you know, Kel, I'm going to lay a small amount of money on this game. I don't think I'm going to release it as a bet to my client base, but I do like San Francisco here. You know, I feel like even though San Fran lost last week, a heartbreaker to Arizona, I feel like San Fran has showed us some moxie this year. You know, they played in tight against Green Bay, and it looks like they're playing for their coach and they're trying. Whereas I think there is just a massive amount of turmoil in Oakland right now. And, you know, these guys are stuck with Gruden for another 9 years. And I don't
There's no chance. I wish there was a bet right now to see if Gruden would make out the rest of his contract, because I just don't see it.
I don't think he gets past year 3. The players don't want to play for him. Their defense is a disaster. We saw that against Indianapolis. Carr is not playing very well. Their running game is off. They have no wide receivers, no tight end. This team is, to me, the worst team in football. I'm going to take the home team with the points here. I like San Francisco at -3. I also like under the total of 46.5 because although Oakland's defense is really bad, I feel like San Francisco is going to be a run-first style in this game. So I like the under, but I am going to put a small amount of money on the 49ers at -3 points.
All right, you just mentioned Minnesota. I was on them as well. I'll blame Adam for killing my first half bet, and then I'll blame Kirk Cousins for not covering the game. That was just a disgusting performance by the Minnesota Vikings. But now Detroit heads to Minnesota as 5.5-point dogs, or 4.5. I mean, it's pretty split here in Vegas. Total came down from 50. There's 2 50.5s left and a bunch of 50. So apparently people like the under here. God, I don't think I can bet this game. I'll be really honest with you. It's either the Vikings or nothing for me, and I'm just not ready to back them again.
You know, Cal, I like the Vikings in this spot. Detroit just traded Golden Tate literally within the last few hours, and I think that was a big statement by Detroit because they're only one game out of first place in that division if they win this game in Minnesota, and yet they traded really their only offensive weapon. So I think their general manager has really made a statement, and that is it's not about this year. And I think that the players are going to feel that. And we already saw what happened with Minnesota when they lost to Buffalo at home. Coming off of a loss, I mean, Zimmer is just a machine. I know -4.5, -5 seems like a lot, but I think Minnesota wins this game by anywhere between 10 to 20 points. And Kelly, I like the under in this game as well. For however good Matthew Stafford looks every now and then, he's very rarely consistent. He very rarely puts up a complete football game, and I think Minnesota's defense is going to stifle Detroit. And I think this game has got 27-10, 20-13 written all over it. I like under, and I do like the Vikings.
All right, Kansas City open 9-point favorite, 8.5, and even an 8 now here in Vegas. I played Cleveland plus 8.5 already. Total 51.5 everywhere. There's 152 left. So I'm guessing somebody likes the under here. Listen, I faded the Chiefs last week with the Broncos. I said 10 points was too many. I think 8.5 points on the road here is just too many for this Cleveland Browns defense.
Well, I'm going to be super fast on this game. I think it's a total stay-away game on all accounts. My initial reaction was to take over the total because Kansas City is putting up 30-plus points every game, and I think Cleveland does have the legs to keep up with them. But then they got rid of their offensive coordinator and coach, and now they're bringing in a whole new group of coordinators and coaches, if you will, and I need to see what happens. I can't bet them to score 20 points when I actually don't know what type of game Greg Williams is going to call. So I'm going to stay away from the total, and as far as the side goes, again, my initial reaction was to take KC minus the 8, but I don't like to play against teams that lost their coach and the next week they've got a new coach and the players feel like they need to show their moxie and maybe give their best game of the season out. So I'm just going to outright stay away from this Kansas City-Cleveland game.
All right, big matchup here in the AFC North. Pittsburgh +3 at Baltimore, 47.5. I lean towards Pittsburgh in this one. Baltimore's now on a 2-game skid, and Pittsburgh is playing much better ball than when these two met about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I agree. But, again, like the Kansas City-Cleveland game, I mean, I'm struggling with this game too, and I don't mean to be, Kelly. Like, the object here is to give out sides and totals on every game, but I'm not going to make up stuff. The problem I have here ultimately is that Baltimore went into Pittsburgh and won, which would make Pittsburgh a really good bet here because rarely does a team win in this rivalry both games on the season. The problem with betting Pittsburgh for me is that Baltimore actually needs to win this football game. And they lost 2 in a row, but one was against New Orleans where they fell apart in the fourth quarter. And the game against Carolina, they just couldn't get going. This Baltimore team is much better than the team we saw in Carolina, and they were able to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh this year. So my initial reaction would be to bet Pittsburgh to make the series 1-1, but I can't bet Baltimore to lose 3 games in a row. They're just too good a team to lose 3 games in a row. And as far as the over and under, I struggle here too because Pittsburgh's playing to the over every game, and Baltimore is playing to the under every game, and I don't know which team is going to dominate the pace of this football game. If I had to make a bet on this game, Kelly, and I don't, but I would take over the total of 47.5 points.
All right, I kind of like that over as well. Tampa Bay, now we're seeing a 7 pop up here in Vegas, -105. Yeah. Total 55. Obviously, the the Bucs are going back to Fitzmagic. Sorry, Jameis. And as you mentioned, both of us were on Carolina last week. I don't know if this is a little bit of an overreaction. I was looking for the look-ahead line, and I think it was 5.5. So not a huge jump, but enough to kind of say, is that really that big of a difference week to week between these two teams?
Another tough line, Kelly, and I told you at the beginning of the show I wasn't loving this card. I think Carolina covers the 7 here, and I'm a huge fan of this Panthers team right now. And McCaffrey and Newton are amazing. Their defense is outstanding. But Tampa Bay is the highest scoring team in the league right now, and I don't see that slowing up no matter who they play. So honestly, even though the total is at 54.5 points, I really feel like this game has overwritten all over it. Tampa Bay's defense is terrible, so Carolina should have no problem moving the ball up and down. And with Fitzmagic throwing these 50-yard bombs to Jackson, and down the field to Evans, I really struggle to see how this game doesn't go over the total. So I think the play here is over 54.5 points.
All right. New York Jets catching 3 at Miami, total 45 across the board here. I did not look. I knew this one was off the board there for a little bit. I did not look to see who the starting quarterback was going to be for Miami. I know that some of the bookmakers here in town make Tannehill a point better than Brock Osweiler, but Miami's still a short favorite here at home.
Yeah, and you know what? I said in the video last week that I liked Miami against Houston, and I was wrong. And I'm going right back to the well here, Kelly. This is not a play on Miami at -3. This is actually a play against the New York Jets at +3. I don't think the New York Jets are nearly as good as 3-5, frankly. I think we've seen them put together 2 really strong games this year, and that's about it. They were able to hang in this past weekend, but they still lost. And I think Miami is a fairly decent team. They've got a good defense. It doesn't matter to me who's playing quarterback here. This is a division game and a home team getting a very small number. I'm going to take Miami minus the 3 points, and I also like under the total of 45.
All right, and here's something funny just because it was in the notes. We'll take a 30-second break. No, guys, I do not get high before my videos with Prez. I figured it out. I think it's because my chair is too short, and so I'm looking down reading the screen on the notes, and so it appears that I have really, really heavy eyelids, and I'm stoned. But I'm not. Though maybe one day, if we do a late enough video, you'll catch me drinking a glass of wine and spilling it on myself instead of a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and funny you ask. One of the comments on the videos last week was Prez indica or
sativa. Yeah.
Sativa. Whatever is handed to
I was
me.
going to say, I think the answer is edibles.
Yeah, edibles. Oh, edibles. Oh,
Prez had fun when he was down here in Vegas. I was sitting at dinner with everybody, and all of a sudden I just saw multiple faces just go like this. And I was like, well, it's happening.
That was a fun night.
I had a great time. All right.
Now you know what we do in our spare time.
Hey, I did not. And Prez is like, why? And I'm like, do you want me to fall asleep under the table at dinner? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then you can stop talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Cal, before we go on, as we've taken a quick break, I want to mention that I did put up my 3-team teaser. I put it up on Twitter last week, and I won it again, Kelly.
I know. I tailed you on it.
Yep. So
I lost my teaser with the Rams.
I told everybody, I literally said, I'm not even putting the Rams in my teaser.
Well, and then Teddy's like, well, you should have waited. Well, yeah, but I put my teaser in early in the week. I don't want to talk about it. Listen, Todd Gurley, right or wrong, I still hate you. Okay, Atlanta at Washington. Redskins have been making me some money the past few weeks. I wussed out and did not bet them last week. And, of course, against a bad team like the Giants, I should have because it was basically no sweat. Now laying 1.5 at home. Total 47. I know you like this Atlanta Falcons team as a bet on. Are you going to be betting them here with the Redskins?
I am, Kelly, and they're coming off of a bye. They've put together a few good games. I think they've had a couple of weeks to try to sort out their defensive issues. But it's not only that. It's that I don't believe that Washington can score a lot of points, regardless of who they're playing against. So, I'm feeling like nobody is going to be able to really keep this Atlanta offense in check. And I feel good about Atlanta putting up 24 points minimum in this football game, especially coming off of a bye. I just don't think I can count on Washington keeping pace. So although Washington is a 5-2 team at the top of their division and a very short dog, as favorite I mean, I'm going to take the Falcons in this football game. I think they win this game outright. And I also like over the total of 47.5 because I think what's going to happen is Atlanta is going to get some points early, and it's going to turn Washington into a one-dimensional offense. And Alex Smith is going to have to air the ball up in order to keep pace with the Falcons. So I think this number is pretty low. So I'm on the Falcons and over the total.
My roommate just brought me in a pie. I'm like, what the hell? A chocolate cream. Apparently.
Can we see? Let's see your roommate. Tell her to come in.
Prez wants to say hi, Blakely. She's tall and blonde, but she literally brought me a pie from breakfast.
Okay, so you have a tall blonde roommate, and you're not going to show the viewers?
She can walk over and say hi.
I look like shit, and I pulled my back out doing high kicks.
She did pull out her back. She was at a nightclub doing cheerleading high kicks, and she just went to the chiropractor, and apparently she thought I needed a pie, even though I need to take my ass to the gym. But don't worry. I'll introduce you when you come to town. All right, next up, this line is sky high. I am shocked. I can't be shocked. Chicago laying 9 at Buffalo. Chicago laying 9 at Buffalo. I get it, guys. I saw the game last night, too. Good God. I don't have the balls to take Buffalo.
Well, you have to take... Well, I'm not going to bet. I don't bet bad teams, but, giving out opinions, Buffalo's the play here, Kel. Trubisky's really struggling throwing the ball. This guy, he looks like a phenomenal athlete. He's running around like a machine, but... his aim is just terrible. Buffalo almost covered against New England, and they would have covered this number too. So, New England is a lot better than Chicago. I don't think Chicago is nearly as good a football team as their 4-3 record suggests. I like Buffalo in this game. The over and under here is 37, Kel. That's super low. I would lean on over the total for no reason other than it's a very low number, but Buffalo's the play.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if I have the guts to do it. I've been betting some really ugly teams lately and really hating my life afterwards. Okay, one game I haven't been able to figure out, and I usually have a really good read on this Denver Broncos team. Houston at Denver. Denver minus 1.5, total of 46.5. I said on Thursday, you and I both agreed that Dolphins catching 7.5 was the right side, in our opinion. Came down to, just that Brock's not that good. Let's be honest. The Dolphins just were not that good. The Houston Texans were the better team.
Well, listen, their defense didn't play well either, Miami.
Exactly. So here's a Houston team where it seems like everybody's pretty high on. I think Denver is a 1 or a 1.5 point favorite here for a reason, especially at home in Mile High. I think this Houston team's been rather fraudulent for a better part of the season.
Oh, listen, look, I don't disagree with you, but in the same regard, we saw an outstanding Deshaun Watson in his first year as a quarterback, and then he got injured, and now I'm starting to see him with a little bit more mobility. So are we moving into to a period now where Deshaun is fully healthy and ready to go? And if he is, this team is amazing. They've got the single best wide receiver in football in Hopkins. They just traded... Right now, they just traded for Tate. Did Tate go there?
I'd have to look. You said Golden Tate just got traded. I didn't catch it this morning. I was doing some other stuff.
Golden Tate went to Philadelphia. You know who went to Houston? DT.
Yes, you're right. Demaryius Thomas.
Right. So another interesting situation where Denver has given up on the year and Houston is vibing in the right direction and just picked up. With DT and Hopkins, Jesus, man. Lamar Miller, Houston's got weapons, girl, and I am taking them in this game. I think Houston wins this division and goes to the playoffs, and we never would have said that 3 weeks ago. I like Houston at plus the 1.
All right, well, I'm hoping Cortland Sutton makes up for DT this week, because I have DT on my fantasy team and he has not been well at all. I'll be really honest with you. That could be definitely some Case Keenum. I was going to say that could be some Case Keenum issues. Okay, a game I do like, Chargers catching 1.5 at Seattle. Total 48. I like Seattle in this one. This is a really good Seattle team at home. I know you're higher on the Chargers this season, but I think that short line, Seattle less than a field goal. Pete Carroll, I think he's like 39-11 straight up at home, and so I'm gonna back this team here just because I don't really love this week's card, and that's a game that really sticks out to me.
You know, I'm not going to take Seattle in this game, and nor am I going to take the Chargers in this game. I think Seattle is playing outstanding football right now. They've turned their defense around. 19 takeaways on the year already, which is ridiculous. There are going to be 4 or 5 teams combined that won't get 19 takeaways in a season. Russell Wilson is looking phenomenal. But with that said, Kelly, I think the Chargers are the 3rd or 4th best team in all of football. They're coming off of a bye. They're feeling really good about themselves. They've got outstanding wide receivers. Gordon is a beast of a running back. Phillip Rivers is a great quarterback. You know, they definitely don't have as good a coach as Seattle, which does concern me. But I think the play here, Kelly, is on over the total. I think without Joey Bosa, and he's out again this week, I think Russell Wilson's going to be able to move the ball around. And I think the Chargers could play any type of football. They could go in there and play a 6-3 field position game, or they can, you know, play with Kansas City and win or lose 38-34. So I think the Chargers will be able to keep up with Seattle, who I think will put some points up. So I think the play here actually is on over 47.5 points.
All right, here's another game I like this week. Rams catching 1.5 at Seattle. Yay, we see a 60.5. This is exciting. You know, everybody keeps talking about that we have never seen an opening, well, at least I haven't seen an opening number of 60. So 60.5, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I've already been told the sharp guys are going to wait and bet the under. Prez, I'm not betting the under with your money.
And this goes to what we were talking about in our question and answers period. You know, is 60 a massive number? Sure. Do we want to bet it over? Not necessarily, but why bet it under? What's the point in betting it under? Like, outthinking yourself? I mean, anybody could make an argument that this game goes over the total. It's not worthy of some guarantee where I'm going to actually lay hard-earned money on under. This game could be 28-28 at halftime, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it could be.
You know, look, it's going to be it's the game of the season so far, and it could easily be the most important game for both of these teams this year, setting up what could be home field advantage in the NFC Championship if these are the two teams that get there. You know, Kel, I mean, here's really the bottom line. You want it. New Orleans did not look nearly as good against Minnesota as we expected. Drew Brees put up under 150 yards passing against Minnesota. Minnesota had too many turnovers. That game was way more lopsided in score than it was at the time. And then we saw what Minnesota did against Baltimore. New Orleans did against Baltimore. Here's really the bottom line. The Rams' defense is way better than the New Orleans defense, period. They have a better front four. They have a better linebacking core. They have better cornerbacks. In every position, the Rams are better on defense than New Orleans. Let's go to the offense. Drew Brees, is he better than Jared Goff? Well, he's certainly better over his career, no doubt. But I think there's somewhat of a wash at this particular moment. Let's give a slight edge to Drew Brees. Kamara and I've gone blank.
Ingram, yes.
Are they better than Todd Gurley? They're like the Warren Buffett to the Prez. That's what they're like. Yeah, they're amazing. And sure, they can guarantee you a 10% return on your money. But the Prez did a 204% return the last year on his money. Nobody's better than Todd Gurley. Nobody. So the Rams have a better defense in every position. They have a better running game, and their wide receivers Okay, Michael Thomas might be the best wide receiver on the field, but come on. Cooks, Woods, the Rams dominate almost every position of this game, and I cannot see New Orleans winning here.
And this is just going back to what we talked about not overthinking it. The Rams have only won 3 of their last 4 games by 3 points. This 7-0 team is going to lose a game. We've talked about they're going to lose a game. And I think this is the game.
Okay, firstly, they're 8-0.
Now they're 8-0, but last week they were 7-0. Sorry.
Okay, and secondly, look, I'm going to tell you flat out, I can't bet this game. Okay. I just cannot bet this football game. There's an argument to be made that New Orleans can win this game. Of course. I like the Rams here, Kel. My opinion for our listeners is the Rams plus the 1.5 points. 2 more games. Let's get moving and get this thing over and done with.
We got to get moving, but I want you to give out your promo one more time, real quick, before we talk about the 2 primetime games.
Okay, so as I said, I'm 200% return on your money in all sports over the last 11 months. I'm offering my entire year of all plays for $750 to only 3 people. The coupon code is PREZALL1, PREZALL2, and PREZALL3. That's it. 3 people. The first 3 get it, $750. If you're a $25 bettor, Kelly, including my package, you will still make a ton.
Also, don't forget, if this video gets over 20,000 views, we got close last week. We had like 17-some thousand. 20,000 views, Prez is going to give you guys a free week of NFL. So make sure you guys share this video.
Free week
of everything. Oh, NHL.
For a week when we get to 20,000 views. But this is the last time we're doing it.
Okay.
Next video will be 25,000 views.
All right, I like it. Okay. Sunday night, Green Bay at New England. Look ahead line was 7.5. This one opened at 7. We're seeing 5.5s here in Vegas now. Total 57. I'm going to be on the Pats. Let's be honest. I love the Dogs, but I was not sold on the Green Bay Packers at LA. Aaron Rodgers proved me wrong. People are going to be going back to the well with Aaron Rodgers as a dog.
Kelly, I can't play anything on this game. You know, I don't play against Tom Brady, and I don't play against Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, here we have a situation where 2 of the best women are in my bed, and I'm impotent.
And you're impotent. Why not just say you're going to bet the total?
Because I needed to get.
Can somebody send Viagra to Prez? I'll give you guys his address. Then he can pick a side here.
Yeah, I'm not picking a side, and I can't pick the total either. I apologize. I know it's a sexy game that everybody wants to bet. I'm just going to move on to the Dallas-Tennessee game.
All right, last but not least, Monday night, Dallas 5 is what it opened. It is now 6.5, total 41. The Titans off that game in London. They did get the backdoor cover. I'm not sure the Dallas Cowboys should be laying 6.5 to anybody, including the Titans.
Dallas should not be. If Dallas played Oakland, I wouldn't give them 6.5. The Titans are the play here, Kelly, without question. This team, you know, they've got a lot of moxie. They had a heartbreaking loss in their last game against San Diego. You know, I think Tennessee is better than they looked in that game. But look, they kept San Diego. I mean, it was a 1-point game. I think the Titans go in there, and I'll tell you, Kelly, flat out right now, this is your money line dog for the week. Titans plus 6.5. I think they're around plus 230, give or take. I like them. I'm going to take the points, but I would not be surprised if they win this game outright. And I also really like under the total in this game, Kelly. I struggle to see
I can see the under here.
I struggle to see how either team are going to get deep into the 20s.
I like it. Okay. All right. Well, are you playing exit music for me?
Yeah, but how long has the show been?
34 minutes.
Oh, hey, we kept it under 40. We should celebrate, Kel. Guys, make sure to check out our question and answers video. It's up in our Wager Talk channel. Make sure to take advantage of my promo. Send us questions, and I mean on anything, guys. What's your favorite movie? Kelly, are you a real blonde? What sport do you like to bet?
I think we know the answer to that one, Prez.
Fair enough. Ask us anything. Guys, thanks so much. Please keep commenting. As you know, I'm probably the only person that does these videos that actually responds to 90% of the comments put up. We are the most watched show in this industry, Kelly, and we will only continue to get better. You are awesome, and let's end it with some Foo Fighters. You do know
Foo
that,
Fighters.
right?
I do know who the Foo Fighters are. I don't think I've ever heard this song.
Is this a joke?
Prez, I'm from Kansas.
This is The Pretender, one of their biggest hits. Ready? Right here. I love this guy. There's very few people cooler than David Grohl.
I know the name David Grohl.
You're the worst. Should we wait for the chorus?
We can wait as long as you want. You got 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Ready? Coming.
Oh, I have heard this song. Okay, I've heard this song.
Sounding like a 49-year-old rockin'. See you next week.